Okay, so what's the big deal about these dueling mountainside attractions and which would be a better fit for you? Today, we'll compare Anakista and Skylift and help give you the lift you might need to decide which one you should go to. Welcome to Bear Facts, where we explore the Smoky Mountains one bear fact at a time. So there's a lot of talk about these two parks and so much information to pass on. But I'm gonna try and give you just the bare facts. No judgment, no opinions, just facts. But I will try to compare the two parks the best I can with these basic factors in mind: pricing, attraction perks, amenities, transportation, handicap accessibility, and the nostalgia factor. For those of you who are not familiar with either attraction, I'm going to provide a brief description for each park. Skylift is a Gatlinburg attraction that offers guests the experience of lifting them over 1,800 feet up the side of a mountain on a two-person chairlift onto the top of Crockett Mountain. Though you might be able to squeeze 3 people in those chairs, I personally feel more comfortable with just 2. The park was opened in 1954 and has held the title King of the Mountain for over 50 years. The park was the first of its kind and offers guests a stunning view of the surrounding mountains and, of course, Gatlinburg below. One of the things that makes Skylift unique is its 680-foot long suspension bridge with a partial glass bottom section that visitors can walk over. This bridge is one of the longest pedestrian suspension bridges in America. The park also recently added the Skywalk, a 1/3 of a mile walking trail that guests can navigate around the gorge and also climb up the Tulip Tower, a 70-foot circular steel tower that gives stunning views of the Smoky Mountains. Skylift also has a full-scale bar, gift shop, and food court with places that guests can sit and enjoy the views. Since the fire that ravaged the Smoky Mountains in 2016, which destroyed most of Skylift, the company has since grown and built up their operations, adding many of the amenities that you see today in just the last few years. Across the mountain from Skylift is one of the newest attractions to find purchase up on top of a mountain, Anakista. The park's name can originate from 2 possible places: the Anakista Knob, which is the highest mountain peak in Tennessee, or from the Anakista formations, rock groupings found in the Smoky Mountains. Anakista was built in 2017, sitting at 600 feet above Gatlinburg. It has many things to do once you reach the summit, including the Anakista Tower, a massive tower that stands 60 feet high and gives a stunning 360-degree view of the mountains. Like Skylift, Anakista transports guests using a ski lift system. However, Anakista also has a shuttle system that park guests can use to get to the top as well. Anakista also has several restaurants, a children's play area, shops, paid thrill rides, as well as the Tree Bridge, a 1/4-mile long wooden plank tree bridge that holds guests up 60 feet above the trees. There are also many well-manicured walkways that lead guests up and around the grounds, colorful sculptures, seasonal decorations, and lighting and water features that add to their goods. Both parks are in the process of adding more features to their attractions. Skylift just completed construction on their Skywalk, but as of the summer of 2023, we're still building their guest relations building, which will provide guests a new ticketing office and area for visitors to get on and off the ski lifts. Anakista has also just opened their newest paid attraction, Astrolumina, an outdoor, nighttime, illuminated, immersive walking trail for park guests. As of the summer of 2023, they were still building the Bird Venture and a new mountain coaster. Alright, I'm going to start by listing all the similarities between the parks before we delve into the differences. First, they both use ski lifts as their main transportation system for guests. Both have spectacular views of the Smoky Mountains and the Gatlinburg area. Both have seasonal attractions or events that draw guests in, and both will close down operations in the event of severe weather. I won't go into specifics for this last one, as both parks have different policies and degrees which will close their parks down. Just note that Skylift doesn't allow guests to use motorized transportation to the top or bottom of the hill. Because of this, the park will evacuate all guests if there is an indication of severe storms, especially lightning. Though they have operated over 50 years and have never had guests hurt or injured due to lightning, they are going to evacuate the parks. It's just to make sure nothing happens. Anakista has motorized transportation, but if there is ice or snow, they will also have limited transportation. You do not want to be on that hill if it's icy or snowy. Just saying, it's a scary drive on the nicest of days. I can't imagine it on a bad one. Anakista and Skylift, or as most people think of it as Sky Bridge, have very similar price points. Both parks offer guests to purchase tickets ahead of time online, and both have different discounts you can look for. Both parks offer discounts for children, military, and seniors. I left a link in the description for you to access their website for specifics. For the sake of all of our sanity, I will only go over pricing for adults for each park. Otherwise, this video would take a lot longer. But before I give you the bare bones pricing and continue with the differences between these attractions, if you have enjoyed this video so far, please hit that like button. Now, let's move on with what each attraction offers you for their price. We're going to start with Anakista, just because it begins with an A and that's the first letter of the alphabet. No other reason. The gate price for Anakista is $34.99. Keep in mind, Tennessee has a 10% sales tax, which applies to most merchandise, restaurants, and entertainment venues. The sales tax for hotels and rentals is even higher, so make sure you are budgeting that in with your plans. With the admission, you get several things at Anakista. 1. Unlimited access to the transportation to the top of the park for the entire day. This includes ski lifts and buses. 2. Full access to the main grounds. There are walkways, trails, and many areas to explore once you reach the top. Anakista also has separate play areas where children and adults can walk and balance over ropes, obstacle courses, and wooden bridges, playhouses, and other fun interactive areas. 3. The tree bridge is also included in your admission price. This part of the attraction allows guests to clamber over wooden blanked bridges suspended over and between the forest trees. The bridges are spaced apart by wooden platforms built around the trees. 4. The Anakista Tower is the other main feature the park allows all guests to enjoy with the admission price. This 60-foot tower is the tallest feature in Anakista. Though, to get to the top, you will need to take 86 more steps, as in stair steps. This can be a little bit of a hike on a hot day, but well worth the views once you reach the platform above. Like Skylift Park, they added a section where guests can stand over a glass area and look at the people below. They say it's perfectly safe, but that will be for you to decide. The park also has other activities that you can do, but these are extras. You will need to pay an additional price for each of these attractions. I won't go into pricing for each one of these things, but I left a link in the description for their website so you can look yourself. These activities include the Rail Runner, a 1,600-foot long mountain coaster, zip lining, which takes guests up and over the treetops and even over the ski lifts themselves, shops and restaurants, and their newest night attraction, Astrolumina. Keep in mind that some of these things do sell out, especially the Astrolumina, as they have limited capacity for some of the attractions. Now let's talk about the Skylift and what their admission price offers. First thing to note is that the gate pricing is done differently for Skylift than Anakista. For $36.95, you can get one lift to the top and back from the park on the day of your visit. If you want unlimited access and use of the ski lifts for the day, the price varies. When writing this review, the July rate was $44 a day, but this price changes based on the day and season. When you're brought to the top of the mountain, you'll have access to all of the attractions they offer. Let's look at what these are. Number 1. The Sky Bridge is by far the most popular draw for many people, and it is included in your admission. With the giant American flag waving in the air to bring attention to this marvel, guests can either walk over the 600-foot long suspension bridge or walk around it using the Sky Trail. In the middle of the bridge is a 70-foot section of clear glass that visitors can look down at the 600 feet below. They also claim it's perfectly safe to walk on, but I will once again defer you to your own judgment. When the park first opened the bridge in 2019, the wooden planks were bare, but they have since covered them with carpeting to help with footing. The glass doesn't have carpeting still. You just have to walk carefully, if it's raining or something. No running. No running isn't allowed. Remember that. 2. The Sky Trail is a new addition to the park. After the fire in 2016, it was one of the things that the park included in their renovations. The park sustained a lot of damage in this fire. After this, they decided to make improvements and upgrades to their facilities. The Sky Trail, bridge, and tower were just part of those changes. The trail is an even-pathed walkway you can take once you get off the bridge. It takes you back to the sky deck where you can get back on the bridge or walk around again. The trail is ideal for guests who don't want to walk over the bridge at all, but still want to explore the area. 3. The Tulip Tower is also one of the newest additions to the park. Named after one of the last standing trees on the mountain after the fire in 2016, the tower stands to remind people of the resilience and hardiness of the mountains and their inhabitants. As you ascend to the top, they give you facts and information about the area and plaques to read. The Sky Deck and Center have the gift shop, food court, bar, and areas that guests can sit and admire the views from. All of these areas have been recently renovated. As with Anakista, the Skylift also has beautiful landscaping and water features, including a stunning waterfall built into the side of the mountain. Okay, so now let's compare some things about the parks and discuss how these differences might help you decide which park is going to be better suited to your needs. Now, mind you, I would suggest visiting both parks as they both have amazing views and great things to see and experience. But not everyone has the time or budget to see them both. They aren't cheap to get into, and the prices seem to go up every year. So many people need to make a choice. That being said, here are the differences and things you need to consider. Difference number 1, transportation. So it needs to be said that both parks have wonderful, easy-to-use ski lifts, but their chair styles are a little different. Both parks have chairs where you have to pull down the safety bar when you get seated, and neither park has locks for the bars or any kind of buckles or straps on the benches. I guess it's a ski lift thing, I'm not sure why they don't lock, but I'm sure it has some weird safety thing. But anyway, when the Skylift Park did the renovations, they also replaced their old chairs. They decided to keep with a nostalgic wooden bench style from the earliest days, though the earliest ones were only one-person seats. These benches seem to weather better and show less wear than the plastic benches that Anakista went with. Anakista uses wider 4-person benches with padded seats, but unlike the ones that Skylift uses, these are beginning to show more wear and tear. Not that they are bad looking, but when something is out in the wind, sun, and rain day in and day out, it starts to show. Anakista also has gondolas, which are enclosed metal seating areas for guests with wheelchairs for large groups who want to ride together. There are not as many of these and are hard to get, but they have them if you're willing to wait. However, because of these gondolas, their lift system seems to take a little longer to get to the top as they slow down frequently to allow low mobility guests to get on and off easier. Anakista has one other big advantage over Skylift. They offer a shuttle service to the bottom and top of the mountain. This is ideal for many guests who want to see the top but are not comfortable with heights. It's also great when it rains or it's very cold. We've been up there in February and it is really cold on top of those lifts. The shuttle buses run when the weather is good, but if you have any fear of heights, even these rides will be a little unnerving for many guests. When the park first opened, they didn't have any guardrails at all. and the one-lane road was a terrifying experience. They have since added more areas to allow buses to pass one another and more guardrails, but it can still feel like an adventure going up or down the narrow passes in those buses. Difference number 2. Holidays and special events are celebrated far differently between the two parks. Anakista has live entertainment on a daily basis and will decorate for the summer, fall, and Christmas seasons. They light it up year-round. Skylift has one huge advantage over Anakista for two of the most important holidays of the year, New Year's and 4th of July. If you have the opportunity to visit the Smoky Mountains for either of these holidays, the town really lights it up. And here's where Skylift has the advantage. They are right across from the Space Needle. The Space Needle is a 407-foot structure built in 1969 that allows guests to take an elevator to the top platform to view the surrounding areas. And this is where the city of Gatlinburg releases their fireworks for both New Year's and 4th of July. And guests at Skylift have the best views. Difference number 3. Let's talk about handicap accessibility and strollers. Both parks can accommodate people with low mobility, but since Skylift doesn't have a shuttle service or gondolas, they have less access for individuals than Anakista. If you have a wheelchair or a scooter, the gondolas will be the only way to get to the top of either mountain. Both parks have a system for getting strollers to the top. They often will put the stroller on a chairlift behind you and strap it down. So if you have a stroller, just let the park attendants know and they will help. Difference number 4. So this might be the deciding factor for many people, and here it is. Sky Park allows pets. Yep, you heard it right. If you want to leash your pup and go up the ski lift with your fur baby, then the Skylift will help you out. And we have seen people enjoy this privilege. It is so strange seeing a big golden retriever sitting up in a chair between two people as they slowly glide up to the top of the mountain. So weird. But Anakista doesn't allow pets unless you have a service animal. Difference number 5. The next thing we'll talk about is season passes. Though this is most helpful for people who visit the Smokies more frequently, it could also help guests who might want to frequent one of these attractions more than once during their stay. At this time, Skylift doesn't offer season passes. However, Anakista does, and it might well be worth your money to invest in them. In fact, if you plan on going to the top of the mountain more than once during your stay, I would highly consider looking into getting one. Not only do you enjoy VIP status, i.e. skip the line privileges, but you also get 20% off food, drinks, and extra attractions and souvenirs. Though alcohol is not discountable item. When the park is very busy, that skip the line privilege is super great. However, you don't get the skip the line on the way back down. Sorry, the VIP only works one way. Difference number 6, choice of activities for children and adults. Okay, so this is a pretty big category, but I'm gonna sum it up quickly. Sky Park has some really great things, but they don't have quite as many things for young kids to do once you reach the top. Though younger children will love the bridge, the thrill won't hold them long. Overall, Anakista has far more for younger families and guests to do and enjoy. With the kids' play area, tree bridge, mountain coaster, and zip lines, the fact remains that Anakista will keep kids entertained longer. You just end up paying more for some of those perks. Difference number 7, unlimited access. I know I've already touched on this, but I want to clarify how this works. Anakista offers unlimited access to their transportation for the entire day of your visit for the gate price, where you need to upgrade your ticket for the same unlimited access at the Skylift Park. It makes sense as Anakista wants guests to revisit, eat at their restaurant, and enjoy their other paid attractions. Skylift is about the experience, and they don't seem to prioritize the other venues as much. And this is where we'll point out difference number 8, foods. Anakista has several different food and drink choices. They have the Cliff Tops restaurant, which is a sit-down and dine place, and not cheap either. They have other food options as well that are more affordable, including an ice cream and dessert stand and several bars. Skylift has one main bar with a food court and easy-to-carry foods. Okay, here is the last and final thing I will bring up in this video. Number 9, the nostalgia factor. This last one is the biggest reason that Skylift is so popular. They have been around the Smoky Mountains for almost 70 years and are still standing strong. Though Anakista suffered a little from the 2016 fire, Sky Park was devastated. The family-run business made sure their employees were taken care of and rebuilt from the ground up. They are truly one of the oldest tourist attractions in the area and have been lifting people year after year. So it makes sense that they have the nostalgia factor and see guests return year after year. People recall the park from when they were children, going up with their parents and grandparents. With such a long history, the park has quite a following. Obviously, Anakista doesn't have that kind of history yet. Now it's your time to weigh in and consider all the points I have given you. If you have any thoughts or things that might help our viewers decide on which attraction they might enjoy more, let us know in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching our video and help us out by clicking that like button and subscribing to our channel. Thanks again for visiting us at Bear Facts of the Smoky Mountains.